Hey guys, welcome back to Clownfish TV. This is Neon. We're gonna talk about the Arrowverse and how Supergirl got canceled and how it's sexist. It's sexist that Supergirl got canceled while Superman gets a new series. How very dare he? And then we're gonna talk a little bit about the Batwoman changing of the guard. It's just not looking good for the Arrowverse at this point, to be honest, guys. I did follow Arrow and Flash and Legends of Tomorrow for the first couple of seasons, and I loved it. Geeky and I watched all of those shows, and I think she hung in there a little longer than I did. But for me, I actually checked out of Arrow after season 4. It just became very repetitious. And Flash, I think I lasted a season or two, same with Legends of Tomorrow. Supergirl, I watched at the very beginning, and I got bored. I'm going to be honest, I actually got bored, and that's before the show supposedly went fully woke. Now, the ratings are terrible, or were terrible, with Supergirl, and both Supergirl and Batwoman, but Batwoman gets another chance. But Supergirl, the ratings are pretty terrible too, and we know what's going on over there at Warner. At AT&T, that they're basically cutting loose anything that's not profitable. But yeah, they canceled Supergirl, and now Screen Rant is saying that it's sexist. It's sexist that Supergirl gets canceled while Superman gets a whole new series out of it. So Supergirl is ending as Superman and Lois starts as a bad look. It's a bad look. A bad look for the Arrowverse. It's a bad look for the Arrowverse to let Supergirl end just as Superman and Lois is starting up, given the CW's emphasis on equality of the sexes. Supergirl coming to an end hot on the heels of the Arrowverse version of Superman getting a spin-off series, Superman and Lois, is a bad look. That's the third time. Third time. A bad look for the Arrowverse and the CW. I think they're trying to guilt the CW into spending millions of more dollars that they probably don't have on a show that's never going to bring it back in. While the timing was unintentional, it still seems that a network famed for its reputation as an equal opportunity employer could bring a show centered around one of its most prominent heroines to a close, just as her male equivalent is getting a show of his own. It's very unfair. It's very unfair that we canceled Supergirl because the ratings were in the gutter. It's very unfair. And they cited that the reason it was ending was because the ratings were bad. Can't imagine why the ratings are bad. Can't imagine. Everything I've heard is that the show took a hard left turn and went fully woke. The announcement that the upcoming Supergirl Season 6 would be the last sent shockwaves through the entertainment industry and superhero fandom alike. Nobody cared. That's the problem. Nobody was watching it. This is like they could cancel Doctor Who tomorrow and people will be like, oh, I didn't even know Doctor Who was still on. Didn't they make Doctor Who a woman or something? Yeah, I didn't even know Doctor Who was still a thing. The past year has been a tumultuous one for the Arrowverse, with Arrow ending after 8 seasons, Elongated Man actor Hartley Sawyer being fired from The Flash, and Ruby Rose deciding to quit Batwoman after a single season. The Arrowverse is screwed, guys. It's over. It's over. No official reason was given for the decision behind Supergirl coming to a conclusion, but it's suspected that series star Melissa Benoist recently celebrated the birth of her first child, and she wanted to focus on motherhood. No, I've heard it was ratings. Now, coming from Deadline, between the delays and Supergirl's downward ratings trajectory, they hear the producers, the studio, the network, and Benoit came to a decision that it was better to end the show with a longer final season. I'm really bad with the names of these actors. I swear to God, they need to get people that are just, you know, John Smith, Susan Smith, Jake Smith. I can pronounce that, but they always get these people with these ridiculously hard to pronounce names, and then people call me out in the comments. They're like, oh my God, you got it wrong. And a lot of times I'll actually go out and look to see how to pronounce the name, and the person pronouncing it on YouTube is actually pronouncing it wrong. But I digress. So yeah, it's over. The ratings were a huge culprit. And they're talking about, over on Screen Rant, the article talking about how it's sexist, says that you know, bringing Superman into season 2 actually helped the show, but, you know, the online trolls The online trolls had a problem with Supergirl. Supergirl still faced accusations of having to weaken Superman in order to make Supergirl seem like an equal, such as when Kara teased him by telling a group of kids she used to change his diapers, or when Kara defeated Clark in a one-on-one battle. Most of these complaints were leveled by online trolls who predicted that Supergirl wouldn't last another season on the CW because nobody cared about female superheroes. Now, it's probably because the show isn't that good, and the ratings have been terrible. They also claim that the only reason the Supergirl show made it in the first place was because they couldn't get the rights to Superman. The same trolls are even now falsely claiming Supergirl was canceled rather than coming to a close with the agreement of the production team. No, usually what happens is they say, this is it. We're only paying for one more season. This is it. We're going to wrap it up, and that's it. It's unfortunate timing. It's unfortunate timing that the series finale has given trolls ammunition. It should be noted that there's no evidence to support any of their claims, except numbers. Numbers. That it's not doing good. I guess you're gonna argue with the numbers. The fact of the matter is that Supergirl ran proudly for 6 seasons, paving the way for series like Batwoman, which has its own problems, by the way. We'll talk about that. It's not a good look when you want to talk about not a good look. It's not a good look when your lead quits the show after 1 season. And Stargirl. Nothing else, the fact that the CW feels Superman should share his show with Lois seems to stand as proof that, as far as the Arrowverse is concerned, the future is looking strong for Superman and Lois. The problem is that having Superman series effectively replace Supergirls around the same time isn't a good look. This is the 5th time, especially regarding the franchise's push for diversity. You know, this isn't the first time that Superman has shared billing with Lois Lane. And you know what? The same people complaining about Supergirl getting canceled are probably the same people complaining about the actor in that show. Of course, we're talking about Lois and Clark. Of course, we're talking about Dean Cain. Actually, Lois got top billing. She got top billing in Lois and Clark. And Lois and Clark was actually a pretty good show. I like Lois and Clark. It was a good show. So yeah, there we go, guys. It's sexist that Superman gets his own show while Supergirl gets kicked to the curb. Again, I think this is a business decision. I think it's a business decision. But, you know, even Forbes is raising some tough questions here. They're like, with Supergirl canceled, the state of the Arrowverse is strange. There is no more Arrowverse. Arrow is gone. The Arrowverse is toast. You know, it ended, Arrow ended, Supergirl's getting canceled, Superman and Lois, I don't know. Black Lightning, I've heard, is actually pretty good, but they said it's largely disconnected from the rest of the shows. The Flash is now the flagship series, but now there are all kinds of problems behind the scenes drama with the Flash. We know what happened to Hartley Sawyer being fired over some stupid joke he made like 5 or 6 years ago. He got canceled, and a lot of fans are pushing back now because of that. And Batwoman suffered a bizarre situation where Ruby Rose, literally Batwoman, left the series for unclear reasons after 1 season. Legends of Tomorrow is still going. It ended in a weird way last year with Brandon Routh and Courtney Ford written out of the show that neither one of them seemed amused about publicly. And then Stargirl, which a lot of people said is pretty good. I haven't watched it yet. The Arrowverse is done, guys. It's over. It's over. It's in its death throes right now. It had a good run. It had a shockingly good run that they built this like mini DC empire on TV for a couple of years, but I think it's over. So speaking of things that are over, it's very possible that Batwoman will be over after 2 seasons. Javicia Leslie, the replacement Batwoman. People are putting, or they put pictures up on, I think DC put up on their Twitter with her costume, which she's basically just wearing Ruby Rose's costume with straight red hair and all. And Twitter was like, what the hell is this? Why can't you give her her own costume? Now, reportedly, she's going to get her own costume at some point. But it does look kind of, I mean, yeah, she needs her own costume. guys. She needs her own costume. But this is a weird situation. I mean, she left after a year. Ruby Rose left after a year, and now we've got this woman who apparently her character is a criminal who talks to plants and lives in a van and is rocking a red clown wig. It works in the comics. It doesn't work live action. I didn't think it worked on Ruby Rose either. They could give her something like this. This is actually pretty cool. Maybe she'll get this costume before the end. But yeah, even a lot of fans of the show are like, it's pretty much game over at this point. Like, the Arrowverse is toast. I mean, are there people trolling just for the sake of trolling? Possibly. But, the numbers are not good. And at this point, AT&T and Warner are looking... Well, I would like to say they're looking solely at the numbers, but we look at some of the decisions they made with DC Comics. And it's hard to say that they're making decisions based solely on numbers when they've literally brought someone in to run DC Comics who is very activist-minded. So I think there will be decisions made that will cost them money, because he's not about making profit. He's about sending a message, not about making money, about sending a message. So we'll see what happens. But there you go, guys. Supergirl, canceling Supergirl is sexist. How dare Superman have a show? I'm going to wrap this one up. Please subscribe for more pop culture news, views, and rants, and we'll talk later.